Welcome to the Imagine AI Live podcast. I've got a very special guest with me, Daniele. How are you doing?
Not bad. Yeah, thanks for having me.
So please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us what you're doing.
Yep. So my name is Daniele. I'm the CEO and co-founder of this company called Toolhouse. Toolhouse is an AI company, and in non-technical terms, we basically are on-ramping people into this new freeway they built, the AI freeway. Problem is, everybody wants to get into this freeway, and they're looking for a car. So they go and try and look for this car, but all they can find on the market are the parts for the car, like the gearbox, the engine, the windshield. The problem is that all these people want to drive the car become mechanics. So that's not how it works, So we're building the car, we're building the assembly line to build those cars, and those cars are going to just be driven by people like you and me, and obviously developers. So developers and by coders are the largest cohort of users, and they're growing. So all of a sudden we have a large total addressable market of potentially upwards to like 1 billion people. And with Toolhouse, we're basically empowering everybody to get onto this freeway with a pre-built car. Like, we're not inventing anything new. It's just like what Ford did with cars. We're doing basically the Toyota of AI, if you will.
That's a great analogy. And so what's the name of your company?
Toolhouse.
Toolhouse,
yes.
Great. And can you tell us about like the founding story of the company and maybe the origin story of yourself?
Right. So I was born and raised a software engineer, and then I discovered this thing called developer relations, where you could basically be an engineer, but also get out in nice events or conferences to talk about the product that your company was making. That was kind of the calling, because you would understand how the product was built, for whom, and then you will learn how to sell it. That was really a revelation to me, so I fell in love with that. I became the head of developer relations then at Twitter until Elon took over. I actually lasted the Elon shakedown, if you will.
You lasted it?
Yeah, because we were rebuilding the entire developer ecosystem there.
Yeah.
We were churning developers like crazy, and people were mistrusting what we were doing. Like, there were legitimate businesses that were losing money thanks to the bad choices we made throughout the years. So we needed to restore trust. And so I was brought in to be the new face of trust. And with trust, you need to make certain decisions, and you make those decisions by listening to developers, understanding what they want, and providing consistency in your new decisions over time to win their trust back. And so eventually, we actually turned them back into like a growing ecosystem, from churning developers to actually getting a growing ecosystem, to the point that Elon then was able to monetize them. Part of the strategy was actually built from part of my team, the product team, so the seeds were already there. We joke with people who are no longer at the company that one day Elon woke up and found the file where we took all the notes for the strategy and just put it in the website, and bam, that was the new monetization strategy for the Twitter developer platform, which it's like kind of a badge in a way. But so yeah, going back, my personal story is a personal story of understanding. Like, I'm a developer talking to our developers. They're frustrated, and then AI came, and it's this big piecemeal. You need to buy inference, then you need to buy a rack, then you need to buy memory, then you need to put this thing from your laptop in some kind of cloud. And this thing really takes like weeks, if not months, to productionize. Can we do it in like days or hours? And so that's how Toolhouse was born. It was born out of frustration, because I was sick and tired of feeling stupid for implementing something. Like, I have a computer science degree. Like, how is it possible that I cannot make these things work in the time I have?
Well, I think that's a very pressing problem for a lot of people in this AI age. They see all these different tools, and they've got an idea of how AI should work, but then they don't know where to start. They don't know how to put these pieces together. I mean, what advice do you have for them, and like, how does your product come into that picture?
I would suggest people to really look at what they're doing and question the status quo. So I would really strongly suggest people to question the status quo. And what do I mean by this? It's like when you go to the gym and you're trying to work out, and sometimes you work out and you know that no pain, no gain. So if you feel pain, if you really work out hard, then you have nice results. And in AI, today it feels the same. Like when you're building things, it's so painful that when somebody presents you with an easy thing, you think, oh, that's no value because I'm not doing any work. But remember how Stripe came about. Stripe was the simple API that with 7 lines of code would make you rebuild an entire payment system that up until that point was only a thing that only large companies could do with large teams because it was so complex. And then Stripe came about and they said, okay, this can be done with 7 lines. And everybody was like, that's not true, it's not possible. And then look at them now. Same here. Like today in AI, you need to, like I said before, you need to buy inference, you need to buy RAG, you need to buy hosting, even memory. Even if you look at those 4 companies, those are 4 different companies, each one with their CEOs and their fat checks. They have their sales teams, they have their engineering teams. So you're adding a ton of hidden costs to each one of these solutions. They're like, even if you have 4 different software selection to do for each one of these 4 pillars, you're looking at 16 companies. Like, who the heck has this time? Can just one company do this one with a single CEO, a single sales team, single technology? Doesn't it cost less? Isn't it simpler? So that's what we're doing with Toolhouse, and that's how this applies to what we're doing, what we're building on the day-to-day.
And so Toolhouse, is it a one-stop solution for companies and it's custom built based on their needs, or is there any kind of ready-to-go packages?
So Toolhouse is a backend-as-a-service. So if a developer used Supabase in the past, that's exactly who we are, but for the AI stack specifically.
Okay.
You build agents on your laptop, you test them on your laptop, and then there's a simple configuration file. So you have the prompt, you have the agent. You run it, it works, great, you're ready to deploy it, it becomes an API. From now on, if you know how to call an API, you know how to build an agent. And you don't need any frameworks because we do all the agentic orchestration. You can actually create a Toolhouse agent that calls other Toolhouse agents, and you can do that just with a prompt. Because those are APIs, you can execute them in sequence or in parallel. You decide. Those are just API calls at this point. And all these tools are already integrated with RAG, code execution, browser use. We are an MCP server and client. So you can plug all the MCP servers you want from the outside world, and then if we don't provide an integration, you can just bring your own, or you can select the one out of the many that perform the same thing based on what you need. So a lot of companies have a Slack integration MCP server. There are like probably hundreds of them at this point right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick the one that works best for you, you just like swap the link to the MCP server. And all you have to do is to just like run th space deploy, and you get the same API with a new MCP server on. That's how easy it is with us.
Wow. And so tell me about how big is your team today?
Yeah. We are one of those new startups that do kind of seed strapping. So we're very small. We're a team of 5 people. We're going to grow, but we're not going to be like behemoths.
Are you bootstrapped?
We're not. We're actually funded, but we are funded with the money we need, not with the money we need to spend. So we're seeing this new trend, even with our users and developers. The new enterprise is not going to be the one that gets 40 million in seed funding today. It's the one that starts very low with maybe $500,000 to $1 million of funding. They maybe raise once or twice. It's 2 people, very, very smart, but they do build the company with AI. They automate their life away and their company away. And these things are happening today. And we see them using Toolhouse because they don't want to just waste time and money building the thing. And so when they scale, we scale as well. So it's kind of holding hands together. When they build, we build, and we basically become their almost like in being the backend, we become their almost like built-in embedded development, backend development for the agentic space.
How long of an onboarding process? I mean, to me that sounds complicated to like come to your company and like have you set that up for me, but how complicated is it?
So we had a live stream just yesterday when my co-founder and I built 2 agents in less than 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like, the first 11 minutes, it's just like joking about this kind of stuff. So in Toolhouse, you have the vibe mode, where you build the agent, and then we give you the prompt that you copy paste into like the 0, lovable, bolt. That's it.
And where is all this going? Like, where do you see the future of back-end software that like you're building?
Yeah, I think we need to stop talking about the future, because the future is happening today.
Right now.
Yeah. So this is like, I'm old enough to remember like the tail end of the .com era. It wasn't this fast. I worked early at Facebook, and social was all the rage. It wasn't obviously this big tsunami that AI is, but that was kind of quick. Mobile app ecosystem as well. This is something else. And it's already the past, it's already happening. So what's happening is you're not going to be looking at large teams anymore, large companies anymore. Nobody will build their own backend, their own data room or server room with their own GPUs. Like companies who are purchasing GPUs today are the same that were purchasing rack space 30 years ago, 35 years ago. That's not going to happen any longer. There's going to be the AWS, which by the way already exists, Bedrock for AWS or Vertex AI for Google. You have the equivalent on Azure. These things are going to be consolidated. And so just like that is happening, the other thing is going to be true. Like, there are people who can afford AWS and people who pay a premium to actually get rid of all the DevOps, all the configuration. And those people go on DigitalOcean, they go on Render, they go on Fly.io, they go still on Heroku. So the new, what's the AI version of this? And it's going to be something like Toolhouse. There's going to be companies who are going to build your backend, they're going to manage it, host it for you. And so you don't have to raise this much money. You can be a very, very profitable company, have more revenue for an employee, which is the new metric that the investors are going to look at.
Yeah.
And that's it. You just like what's going to change in this game for both startups and larger companies and enterprises, that you're all going to be a marketing shop. The brand is going to be relevant. Like what you build, the value for the user, for your customer. That's what you need to be focusing on. Not the model, not the prompt, not the eval, not the RAG. The user doesn't care about the RAG. The user cares about, is this AI thing adding value to my life? Is it making my life easier? Can I actually keep my job? Or if I keep my job, can I also have more time for my kids? This is the ultimate set of questions that the decision maker is making. So companies better be looking at building a fantastic developer experience and then leave the back ends to companies like us.
Truly fascinating times. Daniele, is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience before wrapping up here?
I would love them to sign up for Toolhouse, try it out. It's free, Toolhouse.ai. So you're going to see how easy it is. Like literally, you tell the platform what you want, and the platform does it for you.
Toolhouse.ai.
.ai, yes.
Yeah, great. And you've got a speech coming up here a little bit later? Awesome. Looking forward to watching that as well.
Yeah.
Well, very nice meeting you in person, and let me know when you've got your next big product update, because I'd love to have you on the full podcast as well remotely. So
for sure, yeah. Thanks for having me.